Thank you very much. Hope you can hear me. Thank you very much for the introduction. Hope I can provide you with valuable information as well, beside myself being present here. So I'm asking the organizers to put my presentation on that I can start it. So again, I'm Ernest Puspok, and I'm from Worldline Financial Services. Maybe just a short intro of myself. I was born in Romania, in the city of Arad. I graduated in Timișoara, and then I moved to Hungary, and since then I'm living there. Actually, I live now more in Hungary than I lived before in Romania. I still do speak Romanian language, but yeah, sometimes I prefer to speak English, especially when it comes to professional discussions. Okay, can we have my presentation, please, on?
It's on.
It's on. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm here to tell you about digital payments, trends in digital payments. But before we get into this, I thought I'd give you some information about Worldline. You may have seen our logo on the No Cash newsletters powered by Worldline. I don't know if that raised any questions in your heads, who we are, what we do. But I thought to give you some information on our company. I'm pressing this, but it's not moving. Okay. Okay, so it's going now. So who we are? Worldline is a worldwide company, right? We are originating from France, headquartered in France, and listed on the Paris Stock Exchange, so we are a public company. And you can see our numbers up there, 4.4 billion revenue, 18,000 employees. We are present in 40+ countries, commercially even in more countries. And we are having the honor to be the #1 European payment processor, which means the volumes, which you can also see over there, and there will be in other slides as well, are putting us in this position that we are processing. So we have dedicated business lines, global business lines. One of them is the merchant services. So we are an acquirer. We serve merchants directly. However, we are also a processor. And Worldline Financial Services is the entity within Worldline, the business unit within Worldline, who is doing the processing activities for banks. Different type of processing. I will give you some more info on that. And we have a third one, which is mobility and e-transactional services, which is all other types of transaction, non-payment transactions. We can say, you know, different transportation solutions, different public transportation solutions, different bill payment solutions, anything which is not payment transactions, but additional transactions. I'm representing the financial services part, so I'm responsible for the processing activities, for the services we usually provide to the banks, financial institutions, and others who would require that. In this division, we have card-related services, issuing and acquiring services. We have account payments, anything which relates to payments by accounts. And then we have the third one, which is digital services. We call it digital services. Anything which doesn't fit here is there. I would say related to open banking, related to customer interactions, chatbots, artificial intelligence, different smart payment solutions, CBDCs, trading systems and solutions. So quite a lot. I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that or let's take it, what is our presence in Central Eastern Europe? We used to be a Western European company. We served Western European banks. A couple of years ago, Worldline decided to approach the Central Eastern European regions. I'm one of the people who is here to do that. And we recently, at the end of last year, signed a strategic cooperation with the Printer Group. This means that practically this relates to 16 countries, including Romania. This means that all our services that we are offering on the market are available through Printec for the local banks in different countries. I'm happy to tell you more about this cooperation, but I will stop here because we need to talk about the trends as well. We have a stand over here, and I invite you to come to our stand and have further discussions if you're interested. So, trends in payments. Well, our lives are dominated by payments, right? We have the opportunity and the possibility also to pay any time during the day. We have the instruments in our hands, and we also have the occasions to spend our money. And we do spend our money. Sometimes in the morning, sometimes the evening, sometimes at night, right? So payment is actually a very important element in our life that we can deliver those payments, and those payments are working. So if we look back in time and we look at the evolution of the technology which has happened over the years, the goal was to go cashless, from the cash-based payments to go cashless, go contactless, cardless, frictionless, seamless, and we are going into the invisible payments direction. On the other hand, payments started to become faster and faster over the years. So, looking further into what is happening on the market, we can see that innovation is happening really, really fast, right? So the technology is giving us the opportunity to innovate in a very fast way. No question, new payment methods appearing here and there. We can see them. Whether we will use them or not, that's another question, and I will reflect on that a little bit later. We can also observe that the current payment methods are evolving, right? So besides the cash, we have had for quite a long time the cards as physical cards, then they went into the wallets, then they got into tokenizations and different other ways of delivering the payments with the cards. So they are definitely evolving, but new payments methods are also appearing on the market, right? Innovation is giving possibility to see new payment methods on the market. And we need really mass adoption for those new payment methods to get really on the market and that they get used and they get popular. On the other hand, if we look at the expectations on the market, of the market players, I put up here, let's say, the major market players. There are certainly others. Consumers, merchants, payment service providers, regulators, the big categories. Let's see what are their objectives. So if we look at the merchants, the consumers, sorry, they're looking for convenience, right? So they definitely want to have convenience at the payment, at the merchant place where they're going to pay. You know, they don't want to spend much time on paying, right? Payment is not the purpose of going into buying something. It's the product we want to buy. Merchants are looking for lower fees, right? They want to have lower fees and as low cost as possible that they can realize margins. Payment service providers, well, they face a lot of complexity and they want to push this complexity down to lower their costs, that they can provide services at a lower cost to lower the fees. And regulators are looking for standardization, or they may look for other things as well, but certainly one of the elements is the standardization. If you look at this view, you may observe some kind of, conflicting interest in certain way. So standardization, in many cases, brings up complexities, right? So regulation, the compliance, you're pushing the financial institutions and the service providers into adopting different complexities. Then if complexities are raising, fees are going to raise. Will that also come to a convenience situation? Might or might not come. So there are quite of contradictions on the market, and the market players are living in these contradictions. So the market is somehow trying to regulate this, even to auto-regulate it. Not working? I'm sorry, it's not working. Okay, now. So the market is trying to auto-regulate itself, and therefore, a couple of payment methods and payment trends have emerged on the market. I put up here some of them. Some of them are real, others might be a little bit artificial, or let's call it, they are in an early phase. Whether they will become a trend or not, as we said, mass adoption is needed, whether they will become a trend or not, we will see that. I will go through one by one of these, almost all of them, except autonomous payments. I've taken that out due to the time concerns. But others I will touch upon. So, and again, I'm doing all this. Cards are not mentioned here. Cards are taken for me as the basics, right? As the given situation. And these are the trends, let's say, new kind of trends. Some of them have already started, others are moving into a future direction. So instant payments. What is instant payments, right? We are talking about instant payments when payments are done instantly, and they are also being settled instantly, right? So it's important that both actions are happening instantly. Phone has gone, okay. We can see that as a result of that, there is a legislative proposal since last year at the European level to make Euro instant payments mandatory for adoption. And there are certain deadlines which have been imposed for the Euro countries as well as for the non-Euro countries. This is still in a legislative proposal phase, right? So it's going to be adopted hopefully by the end of the year, beginning of the year. We will see when the Commission is getting to the result of it. And then there's going to be an implementation period coming for the banks that they need to obey with these rules, both in the Euro area as well as in the non-Euro area, including for Romania, related to the non-Euro countries. So what are the key elements, right? There are a couple of elements which will be required for the banks to adopt. So first of all, it will be mandatory for them. So the deadlines are going to be mandatory. By the way, the deadlines have been adjusted. They were different, but they have been adjusted recently. So it's going to be a mandatory uptake. They have to be affordable. Affordable means they cannot cost more than a traditional credit transfer cost. So the instant, we are talking about SCT and SCT Inst, right? SEPA credit transfer and SEPA credit transfer instant. They have to be affordable and they cannot cost more than the regular transactions. Besides that, there's going to be the obligation to verify the IBAN of the beneficiary. For that, mechanisms need to be put in place. Whether those mechanisms are going to be bilateral from bank to bank, or there's going to be a central institution providing this service, that is the question. That is also the decision of the banks, of the banks in different countries and the different organizations in different countries. But this has to be put in place. And then can I get please working again? And then the last one is the sanction screening. Yeah, daily sanction screening. So, okay, so the sanction screening. So currently we are sanction screening, the banks are sanction screening the transactions, but the future requirement is going to be that the sanction screening has to happen at the user level, not at the transaction level, at the user level, and there has to be continuous sanction screening for the users. So this is a change definitely, and the banks have to adapt to that change. I stop here with the instant payments because we have others as well. So mobile payments, right? We can see that there are lots of mobile payments, and I put on the screen just some of the applications which exist. And when I say mobile payments, I mean payment by applications, right? Payment by mobile phones. You can see here quite a few applications from the European landscape, but there is a question that I'd like to ask. So if I'm having one of these, I don't know which one, whichever, can I pay with that in another country or other countries? May or may not, it depends how the situation comes and how this is implemented. Usually it's not possible. So therefore, can this be a replacement for cards? Can they overcome cards if they are not used widely, cannot be used widely? Not sure about that, right? So mass adoption might not be that mass, right? That we can achieve that level. Therefore, the European banking landscape has taken a decision to join forces, which is a private initiative. It's called European Payment Initiative. So it's a private initiative. In other words, it's called EPI. It's a private initiative of 14 European banks and 2 service providers. Worldline is also one of them. In order to provide a European wallet which is able to deliver instant payments at the European landscape. So it's quite obvious that the market is again auto-regulating and trying to solve the deficiencies that are on the market, and this is one of the solutions that is being implemented. There, it had different phases. There was an initial phase when there was a card in the wallet as well as an instant payment instrument. Then the card was eliminated and only kept the instant payment instrument. Of course, this is somehow in line with the instant payment regulation, and it's hooking up on that, and it's providing a solution at the European level for this. So the next topic that I wanted to talk about, the next trend, right, is open banking. And when I'm talking about open banking, I'm only referring now here to the payment initiation part, not to the account information services. So this is regulated by the Payment Services Directive, which started in 2007, PSD2, PSD1, PSD2 in 15, and 2023 PSDT and the PSR are coming, right? And it looks like this is really a trend. It's a trend because the regulators are pushing it, definitely. They see a reason for that, which is to foster innovation, to bring up more security to the payments, as well as create competition on the market, which is always good for the market. And of course, this provides the possibilities to different use cases to deliver account-to-account payments, recurring payments, request to pay, and also buy now, pay later. What is important is to understand, and I'm sure most of you and all of you probably understand, but I'm just repeating it, it's not a standalone payment method. It's contributing to the initiation of the payment, but then the payment is happening on another rail afterwards. And is giving the possibility for third-party processors to deliver payment and to initiate payments. This is certainly a trend, and this trend, it looks like it remains with us. Digital currency payments, a next trend. So it's quite obvious that this is also with us, around us. And when I mean digital currency payments, obviously I'm talking about the CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. I'm talking about the regulated digital currency payments. I'm not talking about crypto payments, right? So it's strictly related to the central bank digital currency. Central bank money and commercial bank money. So the two notions, right? Cash currently is representing for us the central bank money. The money we have on our account is the commercial bank money. That is a debt that the commercial banks owe us, right? We gave them our money, they owe it to us. What we can observe on the market is this was in a certain balance so far, but this is getting unbalanced. What is happening? Cash is decreasing. I mean, the usage of cash is decreasing and is moving towards electronic payments, digital payments. but those are based on commercial money. So practically, we are moving traffic from the central bank money into commercial bank money. Is that good for us? Could be comfortable, but is that really good for the economy? There is a saying, cash is the anchor of the economy. So imagine a world without cash. Imagine a world only with digital payments, right? Account-based payments. I mean, using the money which is sitting on the account, right? So if we have all our money in the bank account, right? So what can happen? The banks may be put in a situation in which they are kind of dominating, right? And kind of, how to say, monopolizing the cash operations, right? Or the non-cash operations. So what's happening then? So what can happen? Yeah, we could get easily into negative interest rates. And me as a consumer, as a person living in a certain country, I don't have any other option. I can't take out my money. There is no cash, right? I don't have an alternative. So therefore, central banks have taken the initiative to modernize cash, which has not been modernized for hundreds of years. We have still the same coins and paper, right? So therefore, they have taken the initiative of implementing the digital version of the former cash. And that is the reason, actually, and we will have now wallets in which we will have digital cash, and we will have wallets with which we can pay with our money from our account. Okay, if you're interested in having further conversations in this, I'm happy to speak more about, but I need to be cautious of time. So we need to move on. CBDC Euro, there was an investigation phase which started in 21st of July to implement this, ended on 18th October 23, recently. And as a next step, there is a preparation phase to launch the digital currency, the digital euro, which started on the 1st of November, recently. They're going to finalize the rule book, select the providers, and they will decide when to go in production. So this is definitely a trend which is moving off. And the last one, is this a trend? Is Metaverse a trend? Yeah, for some people it could be, but it could be definitely a differentiator for a bank to implement and to utilize payments in a Metaverse. There are merchants who are living in Metaverse, right, selling their products in Metaverse. There are even banks who are in the Metaverse, and they have branches in the Metaverse. We, Worldline, have a place, have a mall in Metaverse, and we are renting space for banks to be present in Metaverse in Decentraland. What is Metaverse? Metaverse is a new and evolved form of the e-commerce environment, and it combines three major areas. The immersive experience, we use glasses, right, virtual glasses, to get into the Metaverse. There is the Web3 technology, which is being used. And then there are digitalized assets being used within the Metaverse. The products are digitalized, but also the currencies which are being used there are digitalized. Let me have a question to you. How many of you have you ever been in Metaverse? Hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Not too many? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a unique opportunity for me here at No Cash, right? Banking 4.0. You have the possibility to be in a Metaverse with us. We have put up a small demo, which was done by our marketing manager, Ruxandra, who is with us here. And we made a video for that. Usually we also do an on-site demo, but this time she couldn't take the glasses with her. So we have a demo here, and you have the opportunity to see it. Let me start it. I don't know whether the voice is going to be heard or not, but you will see how a purchase can be done in Metaverse. Ruxandra is our colleague. You can see her at our stand. And let me start then the video. yeah, there is no voice, so I will tell you what she's doing. So she's looking around in a virtual shop. She would like to buy something, and she's going to decide to buy the coach, right? She picks it up, so she has her glasses on, right? She's in a virtual shop. She put it in the basket, she looks around how it looks like, yeah? Can turn it around, can visualize it in a different way. And if she likes it, right? She will like it, I tell you. So then she puts it in the basket and starts the payment process. Pay here, so she's doing the payment and is using an authentication method called pin on palm. So she can see with the glasses the PIN pad with reverse numbers, with random numbers, types in the PIN code, and then the transaction is started. And here we go, and then the truck is coming and bringing the coach home. So that's how you can practically be in the Metaverse and purchase things in Metaverse. Hope you enjoyed the experience. So let me have some conclusions to the end of my presentation. You have seen a couple of payment methods, and obviously it's important that we get the convenience, right? Everybody has the convenience when utilizing a certain payment method or a payment trend. But is that sufficient? Might not be sufficient. And there have to be benefits for different players. You have seen the 4 players. For all of them, there have to be benefits. Otherwise, the trend is not going to boost, is not going to remain on the market. Technologies are extremely important, right? But they have to be invisible. When I need to use my glasses, is that an easy thing? It's expensive. So practically, probably this is why the trend has not taken off widely yet. If they get the prices down, this might be something which is again coming. But certainly, the technologies have to be invisible and they have to be trusted and safe, right? And last but not least, for a trend to take off, a wide adoption is needed. You really have the possibility to utilize it, at a large scale. Otherwise, the trend is not going to take off. I'd like to thank you for your attention. Of course, the purpose of my presentation was to raise some ideas in your heads, maybe for implementing some of these, looking after some of these ideas. And here, we as Worldline, we are here to support you, support the banks, financial institutions in adapting all these new ways of paying and new trends. Thank you very much for your attention.
Amazing presentation. Guys, a round of applause. Fantastic. Don't move. Ernest, do you mind if we take one question from the room?
Yes, please.
Question in the room? Come on. Nick, you must have a question. Okay. Launch the round, please.
What do you mean by wide acceptance in numbers?
Well, yeah, when I say wide acceptance, I mean wider geographical acceptance. So I'm coming from Budapest, from Hungary, right? How can I pay here? Well, I'm taking out money or I use my card. I don't really have a foreign person coming from outside, having any other option. Although you may have other payment options in your country, but for me, they are not accessible. So there have to be payment methods which are accessible widely. Currently, as we see, cards are dominating the market. Cash and cards are dominating the market. Definitely, the reason and the purpose of these trends are to come up with competitive options and grant the same user experience as well as the possibility to utilize other payment options at a wide scale, possibly giving more benefits to different market players. So that's what I mean. Wide acceptance, you know, geographically CEE, Europe, worldwide.
So we don't have a number, it's like 10%, 85%, because otherwise it doesn't fly, right? It's like a rocket, so.
Yeah, well, the goal is to adapt it as high scale as possible, as large as possible.